What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with a brand new game for our YouTube channel called Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. This game was developed by Ubisoft, which you guys might be familiar with. They've brought some stellar games out there in the PC world, most notably Far Cry or maybe Assassin's Creed. Their mobile team has connected with the Might and Magic franchise in order to bring you guys their first mobile turn-based RPG. So as you guys already know, I'm a big fan of turn-based RPGs. I had a distinct pleasure and honor of getting a chance to test this game in the early access phase. So I've been playing it for a couple of weeks as a free-to-play player, and I'm really excited to showcase you guys this game as well as some of the features that basically kept me hooked. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. In Might and Magic Elemental Guardians, the goal is to simply collect creatures and create unique synergistic teams in order to clear the Shattered and Dragon Mist Islands. There are currently over 500 creatures that are broken down into 4 different elements: fire, earth, air, and water. And as you might have guessed, in that specific order is going to provide you the elemental advantage of each unit. Fire beats earth, earth beats air, air beats water, and water beats fire. One of the cool things about having 4 elements in this game is that you're always going to have 2 options for neutral elements. For example, if I were to take my air giant versus 4 different enemies on the battlefield, and let's say they were all 4 different elements, the options that are going to be neutral to me are air and fire. The reason why fire is neutral to element because it does not have an advantage or disadvantage towards my air giant. So again, it's going to make team creation a little bit easier for you as you start the game. When you look more in depth into your creatures, you will also notice that they're broken down into 4 different archetypes. You have attacker, defender, support, and saboteur. All have their basic type of things that you're probably used to. Attackers are going to be units that are going to provide a ton of damage. Defenders are generally tankier units that have damage based on either defense or max HP. And support units are essentially buffers or healers, while saboteurs are going to be your debuffers in this game. That being said, the cool thing about this is that they're all very unique, and depending on which units you have and which roles you can provide in your composition, each of these units can be built in different manners in order to accomplish your goal. Your creatures are controlled by your hero, who also has the ability to attack during the battle. His abilities can be customized by one of the 3 mystical houses. You have Anima, you have Materia, and you have Chimera. Each house provides abilities that can improve turn advantage, provide additional harmful or even beneficial effects for your party. There are even skills that can improve the damage and cooldown time of your wizard, giving him more opportunities to provide these effects. While there may be a mystical house that you might lean to on one over the other, just keep in mind that this is a very customizable aspect of the game that allows you to accomplish various things, and depending on what you're trying to do, you may find that one mystical house is going to be more important than the other. Let's go ahead and break down the UI as well as talk about some of the buildings that are currently available so that you guys can have an idea of where everything is at, okay? On the top left, we have our 2 forms of energy. We have the regular energy, which is the yellow lightning, as well as the PvP energy, which is in the red. That's the red lightning. On the top right, we have our 2 forms of currencies. We have the crystals on the left, as well as the seals on the right. And as you guys might have guessed, these are limited resources. So again, managing your resources effectively is going to be extremely important, especially if you are a free-to-play player. The first building that we'll go ahead and take a look at is the Menagerie. That is the building with the golden statue. This building will showcase all the available creatures that you can collect in this game, and they're broken down into the 4 different elements, ranging from 1 star to 4 star. Now, one of the things that I really like what they did about this game is that basically every single creature has some sort of value. Generally speaking, 1-star units are something that, just kind of gets thrown into another creature in order to level them up. But in this game, there is an aspect of skilling up your units in order to improve their abilities. And in order to do that, one of the materials that you will need is an actual creature of that specific element. So for example, if I had a 3-star earth monster that I wanted to go ahead and skill up, I'm going to need 4 different earth creatures in order to scale that up, in addition to some other materials which we'll talk about later. So again, obviously when it comes down to what is available to us, using the 1-star creatures that are you currently have in your box is going to be very important. It's going to be efficient, as the 2-star to 4-star ones are going to be a little bit better for you to use in your regular content. Okay, if you want to take a look at the creatures you currently own, all you have to do is click on the creature button on the bottom, and that will bring you to the character select screen. Now, the one that I have currently selected is the 4-star air giant called Storm Anajar. As you can see on the left side, you're going to have a little bit of details on them that showcases the element, the archetype, as well as the current level with respect to the maximum level. Right below that, you will have the XP to see when he levels up, as well as the 3 available skills that he currently has. Now, when you first get a certain unit, it's going to start out with 2 out of the 3 skills being something specific to him or her, but the first skill is always going to be a basic ability. One of the things that you'll be able to do along the way is evolve your creature, and that will give you a new skill, which can be one of these 2, as you can see, for this specific creature here. So once you get all the material that you will need, you'll be able to evolve it, and basically RNG will dictate which of these skills you will be able to get. However, generally speaking, there is one that most people consider better than the others, but for the most part, I feel like a lot of them do have something that's going to provide value in any way you look at it. So going back to our main unit, the numbers in white indicate the total amount of stats that you currently have on your creature, but the numbers in green are going to provide you the details on the specific amount of stats that are coming from your glyphs, which are items that you will equip on your creature in order to improve its overall stats, okay? Moving on to the glyph types, we got quite a handful of different glyphs, as you can see on the left side, each of which providing the actual bonus for that specific type. Now, if you want a little bit more details, you can go ahead and click on that specific glyph and then look on the information circle on the bottom. Clicking that directly will provide you the exact amount of bonus that you will be able to get, and then of course the amount of glyphs that requires you to go ahead and get that bonus. Now, if we take a look on the right side, we'll see that we have a haste set that's going to provide us a speed bonus, as well as the vitality set that's going to provide the 20% HP. Now, generally speaking, in other RPGs, you will know that percentage-based, glyphs or equipment are generally the ones you go for, because as you level up, your base stats will improve, and as your base stats improve, you will get a lot more value out of it. The cool thing about this game is early on, the flat stat glyphs are actually a little bit more beneficial for the majority of the creatures that you will obtain, so keep that in mind as you are equipping your specific creatures. Now, even though you're going to get a little bit of bonus out of both, it really doesn't matter. Make sure that you are completing the sets, but more importantly, just taking advantage of whatever you get, and don't be afraid to use the flat stat glyph. You're actually going to get a ton of value, and I think what I'll go ahead and do, for those of you guys that are already kind of pushing through the game, I'm going to provide a couple of links in the description down below, so that if you are looking to find out a little bit more detail before I actually provide the video, you can go ahead and check it out, okay? Now let's go ahead and take a look at the filter. On the bottom here, you're going to see quite a handful of creatures that I've collected in the past 2.5 weeks. Of course, they are going from high to low, with my favorites that I've selected, the ones that are going to be on the far left here. But let's say I want to find a specific creature. I'm going to be able to click this arrow on the bottom right of my screen. This is going to bring up our filter screen that's going to allow us to select exactly what we're looking for. For example, let's say I'm looking for a 2-star fire monster that is a attack-based unit. I will be able to see the pre-registration unit that I got, as well as the fire assassin. That's one of the units that you can obtain. Again, you can add or subtract different things that you want to do, so that you can kind of see what you have available to use. Now, another one of the cool features is, if I can bring this back up, I'm going to go back to the 2-star, and I'm going to bring up the fire and the water units, because one of the things that you guys saw was I have the water assassin as well as the fire assassin. And if I bring up the attack, there we go, that's going to go ahead and make it a little bit easier for me to select. If you take a look at the comparison tool button that's located to the right of the upgrade button that's highlighted, that will go ahead and provide you a way of comparing stats with 2 specific units. Now, of course, I already have the water assassin selected, and I'm going to go ahead and select the fire assassin. Now, both of these, as you saw, were attack type units. However, you can see that their stats different are very, very different here. So again, kind of getting back to what we were talking about beforehand, the usage of flat stat glyphs versus percentage-based stat glyphs. Some of them are going to yield a better result depending on the unit and where we're currently at with those stats here. So you'll be able to take a look at this and compare these 2 units, or whoever you want to compare. But ultimately, I do like to take a look at this. So not just the regular stats that you guys are more accustomed to, but taking a look at the amount of critical rate, critical damage, accuracy, or resistance. That's all going to be something that you want to consider depending on the specific role of that creature, okay? Now I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Again, any of the creatures that you currently enjoy, that if you want to make sure that you save them, all you have to do is click on this the creature and then click on the add to favorites button, and that will go ahead and highlight it so it doesn't allow you to use it for fodder in something else, like so you don't use it for fodder there. Okay, the next building we'll go ahead and take a look at is the summoning altar. This is probably my favorite one, obviously, because this is where you're going to go to get your new creatures that you have obtained via the soul stones. As you can see, I got a couple of different soul stones available. The minor stone that will allow me to summon 1 and 2 star monsters. We have the epic soul stone that will allow me to get the 2 star to 4 stars, and then I have some fragments that I've collected along the way in order to get myself a couple of extra summons. Now again, I do want to reiterate, while early on in the game you're going to have a lot of minor soul stones, don't get discouraged, because again, the 2 star ones that you collect along the way have a ton of potential. So I'm pretty excited to see what units that you guys get, because again, if you take a look at some of the skills that are available, you will notice that there's a lot of potential to be able to utilize them in multiple aspects of this game. Okay, one of the units that I have currently built up is called the Water Basilisk. Now this is a 2 star creature that I have decided to build, and I'm glad I did. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at his skills real quick. As you can see, the second skill, we got to attack the enemy and blinds them, which provides a 50% chance for them to miss. That's obviously nice. It's single target. But this one here is one that I'm a big fan of. A crystallize that attacks all the enemies and freezes them, crystallizing them in a jagged ice for 2 turns. Now, this is an AoE freeze with 100% activation. Naturally, though, you're going to need a certain amount of accuracy to make sure that these land for you and that it's consistent with what you're trying to do, right? But if we look a little bit closer to the actual skill, you will notice that some of these skills, not only when you max them out, provide when you skill them up, it provides a little bit of damage or a little bit of a cooldown reduction. In this game, you have the opportunity for some abilities to improve the overall turns of that skill. This was originally a 1-turn freeze, but this has turned into a 2-turn freeze. And again, this is a 4-star monster, so we'll get into more detail in future videos, but this kind of showcases just the potential that can be had in this game, and so it's pretty exciting for any unit that you pull early on. Take a look at its kit and just see the skill ups and what it can provide, and take a look if that's going to work for your specific team. Okay, now getting back to it here, we got a couple of things to do. We're going to open up some soul stones so you guys can see what new units we can obtain, and then we'll go ahead and open up some chests as well. Now let's go ahead and start out with the soul stones. The first one that we're going to do is the minor soul stone. Again, this is going to be 1 or 2 star, and you're going to know what it is if you get lightning or not, right? I'm going to go ahead and do this epic soul stone. This one's going to be a 2-star one because we didn't get any kind of lightning, unfortunately, but if we did, we had the opportunity to get either a 3-star or a 4-star one. This one here, Young Griffin, we'll take a look at it. Attacks the enemy and amplifies the damage they receive by 40% for 2 turns, which is obviously really, really nice. Any kind of damage amplification, I will gladly take that. And then this one is going to be doing damage based on its own speed and increases the chance of receiving a critical attack for 2 turns. So again, even though this is a 2-star monster, maybe this is not one of the most popular ones, you can kind of just take a look at this one, just for what it's worth here. You got a skill that's going to provide a opportunity to receive a critical attack, so you're going to be able to do more damage. And then this one is a damage amplifier, so the potential of this unit providing not only damage for him but also the remaining party. Again, this is really, really nice. So obviously, like I said, just take a look at every single unit that you get and see which ones are going to be more valuable for you and your team. The next one that we got here is going to be the summoning altar. This is you're going to get obtain items called keys throughout the game, and you're going to be able to use those to open up specific chests. Now, some of these chests you will just get through quests or rewards, but some of them you will be able to open through the pieces that you've collected, right? So what we'll go ahead and do is open a couple of them up. We'll just open up one of each so you guys can get an idea. But as you might have guessed, you're just going to get various rewards that you would obtain through scenario dungeons or through other quests. We got some instant tickets as well as some small potions. We'll definitely talk about those here in a little bit. Let's see what we get in this one. This one here, we got super lucky. We got energy, we got epic fragments, and we got magical books. Now, magical books, I didn't explain it to in the character screen because, again, I wasn't trying to go too much in detail, but this is the material, this is the main material that we use for not just evolving our monsters, but skilling up these monsters here. So this is an extremely valuable item. This is something that we're going to be constantly purchasing when we have the opportunity to, as I will talk about a little bit later. So that's a really nice. That was a really nice chest here. Now I have saved this super large chest. This is not something that you generally get. It takes a little bit of time to get it, but I wanted to go ahead and save it for the video so that you guys can go ahead and have an idea of what's going on here. The legendary fragments we're going to use for 3 to 4 star summons. We have the epic fragments for the regular summons, and then the rare creature fragment is actually really nice. These are items that we're going to be able to obtain through the Tower of Trials, which is like the hardest Pve content in this game, and that's going to give us another option of collecting more monsters through their shop. The 2 glyphs that are shown up above, as far as the color goes, we have 4 different grades of colors. Again, I didn't want to get into too much detail, but basically so that you guys can get an idea, 4 different grades, or sorry, 5 different grades, and they go in this specific order. You have the white, the blue, the green, the yellow, and the purple. So it's the common, the uncommon, rare, the epic, and the legendary glyphs. So as you can see with this large chest, I was able to basically get one of the top type of glyphs in the game. Now, of course, it's going to depend on the stats if I'm going to use it or not, but as you can see, if it is not available or if it's not something that I'm going to be able to take advantage of, I can at least sell it and get myself some extra crystals here. So really nice. Again, this is something that you will be able to obtain either through quests, different achievements that you have, or you'll be able to collect the keys through the scenarios and just save them over time so that you can go ahead and summon these chests here. So again, it's really nice, and for me, I've been able to use these chests for me to get a little bit more energy when I'm getting super low, maybe like right before I level, so that I can level up, get my energy refilled and go back into the mix there. So you have a couple of different types of soul stones, elemental soul stones and special ones that you'll be able to get some different fragments from maybe different events or whatnot. But for the most part, you're going to be sticking with just your basic soul stones and your chests here. So again, these are obviously going to provide some of the unique creatures that you're going to be able to use throughout your journey, and then the chests are going to get you some really good rewards that will just kind of catapult your progression early on in the game. Okay, the next building we'll take a look at is going to be the arena building, which is to the left of that academy. This is going to be the place where you're going to go ahead and use your arena wings in order to best your opponent's AI. Okay, they're going to set up a defense, and you're going to take 4 of your best monsters and take a look at their setup and try to see if you can create a composition that will be able to conquer your opponent. Now, some things to point out here that is very important. We have the reputation points. These are the points that you're going to be able to obtain through every single victory, and those points are going to be utilized in order to purchase valuable things in the shop. On the right side, you'll see my current ranking position for my league, as well as the ranking points that I have. And then we'll see a win-to-loss ratios, as well as the total amount of battles that we have in play. Now, on the bottom, we'll take a look at the leagues real quick. I'm currently in Bronze 1. There are quite a handful of leagues available, and these are the people that are currently in my league. So one of the cool things that I like about this game is that once the league is over, you will be able to see some information here right in the middle of all the players that will be promoted, basically the threshold or the glass window of the players that will be promoted to that next league if you're able to stay up there. And then in addition to that, you have a little bit of information as far as the types of rewards. You got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 rewards respectively that will indicate where you're currently at, and if you're trying to get that specific reward, where you need to be at the end of the week. Okay, one of the things that I know people have kind of mentioned on the side is like, hey, I just started this game and maybe somebody's been playing a month down the road or something like that, if you're seeing this video way down the road, and it's like, am I ever going to be able to catch up to them, or am I ever going to be able to compete because they are so good? As they progress in leagues, they're going to be out of your range, so that's going to give you an opportunity to stay within people of your level and have a fair chance to take them out. And then of course, over time, as you get a little bit better in arena, you'll be able to move up in leagues and go up against people of your caliber. So it's pretty cool. Down below we have a log to showcase all the defeated things that we got going on here. I've lost quite a bit, but again, that's intentional because as you see, my current defense is just 1 unit. One of the tips that we'll be talking about in a future video is, kind of getting started. My focus is on PvE, and I want to do that in order to obtain the rewards, obtain the glyphs that I need in order to improve my creatures and make them viable or make them strong enough to compete versus my opponents in the arena. So right now, I'm trying to keep my ranking relatively low, so I can find weaker opponents, and then down the road when I feel like I'm going to be competitive enough, I'll move up my defense so that I can go up against people that are right at my level. One of the cool things though about this game is that if you take a look to the left of my head or right of my head there, not only do you have an option to set your defense, but you have an option to test your defense as well. So if I wanted to set a specific lineup, I can, press this test button, and then you will see my defense on the left, and I can go ahead and select any of my 4 monsters to go ahead and test it out here. So I got to give a shout out to Ubisoft on this one. This is a really, really nice feature because down the road, there's going to be a high level of theory crafting going as far as, what's going to be the best team, that's going to be, good for defense and whatnot. And so being able to test that out before you actually, get into that rush hour to get that high rank is going to be very, very beneficial for anybody out there, whether you're a end-game player or even a new player just trying to learning the field. So the next building up we got is the magical shop. Now this is the place where you're going to check on an hour basis to see what kind of items you want to go ahead and purchase. Again, I will get into a little bit more detail in future videos, but basically there are definitely a couple of things you want to go for, and some of them you definitely want to kind of shy away. I guess we could talk about the 2 main buildings on the bottom. You have the Dragon Utopia. This is going to give you free seals throughout the day. And then this one here is going to be our crystal mine. This is going to give you crystals throughout the day as well. All the way on the left side is the newest building that has been implemented. This is the guild halls. This is where you can go to find information on your guild. And if you are looking to join a guild, I definitely recommend doing so because, again, this is another way of collecting, being able to do quests with your guild in order to get yourself some rewards. Let's see if I pick this one up here. I think I did this one. Let me see here. Yeah, so this one I actually did participate in, and so as you can see, I was able to get a specific reward. And once I click the collect button, I'm going to go ahead and be able to obtain those rewards. Again, 6 fragments of 50 in order for me to do an extra summon. So all of these will add up. There's really no reason not to be in a guild. It's just going to give you another opportunity to take advantage of quests that provide you more rewards. Some of these quests are just simply get glyphs, or some of these ones are to do summons. There's even some of them that will allow you to, use your arena wings, right? Or arena energy. So again, they all kind of come into play, and then you're going to be able to get these emblems that are going to allow you to get yourself various rewards in the guild shop. So a lot of opportunity to collect more rewards and get yourself, progressed even further. Let's take a look at the bottom right so that you guys can see the breakdown. We have the missions button here that's going to provide you the information on the daily missions as well as the achievements. All the achievements are broken down into each section of the map, and we'll go ahead and get into the map in a minute. Now, this is going to be very, very important for you guys to keep an eye out on because this is something that if you're looking to be efficient with your resources or efficient with your farming or leveling up, this is going to allow you to, clear specific quests or go into areas to clear specific quests and get yourself the rewards even quicker than you would have imagined. Now, I have not actually been working on it like specifically. I just been kind of doing the clearing the scenarios and just getting the achievements as I've gone, and I've been able to obtain quite a handful of seals that has allowed me to do about 3 to 4 packs of 9 on this in this game here. So it's pretty nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PvE content here. We have 2 different areas. We have the Shattered Islands and we have the Dragon Mist Islands on the right. The Shattered Islands is just going to be our regular scenario stages that we're going to be able to clear. There's 3 different difficulties within each one, and as you can see, each of them have specific rewards that we can obtain. Obviously, the higher grade of the level, right, Advanced or Nightmare, is going to provide us the better rewards. One of the really, really cool things I like about this game is that once you have cleared a specific level, like once you've cleared it, completely, and you move on to the next one, when you go back to the original one that you were working on, you'll be able to simulate the fight by using your energy as well as the arena tickets that we got up top here, so that you can just go ahead and complete the stage without getting any XP, but be able to obtain the rewards. So, for example, let's say that you are a beginner and you just got done clearing the floating islands, and you're looking to now start up back again and go to the advanced, right? Let's say you don't have a couple of glyphs and you're like, oh, okay, I want to go ahead and see if I can get some glyphs quick so that I can equip my monsters, get the set bonuses, and move on and progress a little bit quicker. I could go here and mind you, even though I'm clicked on normal, I'm going to use the I'll just use the normal for now so you guys can see. I'm going to simulate by using my instant tickets. I'm going to say, let's go ahead and use 4 tickets, right? It's going to use the respective amount of energy for that typical stage, and then we'll do it. We'll click the button, and you basically be able to get the rewards as you were just to clear it, normally. Again, there's some pros and cons about it. You're not going to be able to get any experience for your units or for your creatures. But again, if you are looking to either just use the energy before you go to work or go to bed. If you have like a full energy amount, you can do that. Or if you're just looking to, go through it quickly, just try to get yourself a couple of, glyphs, it's going to be very, very nice. Now, keep in mind that while this may seem a little bit crazy as far as like, oh my gosh, you're going to be able to progress too quick, you're going to be, end game at the end. The highest grade that you can obtain in Nightmare for these is going to be the epic ones. You're not going to be able to get the end game glyphs here, so you're still going to have to do work from the regular farming. But either way, again, it's going to be a nice little tool or a nice little feature that you can use to go ahead and get yourself progress a little further. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Dragon Mist Islands. Here is where we're going to see some of the specific dungeons that are going to provide us either materials or glyphs. The Tower of Houses is going to provide us the basic materials for evolving our creatures. The Elemental Tower is going to provide us specific materials for each specific, element, each individual element. And then the Glyph Dungeon is the one that we're all looking to do, as we progress in the game. This is going to provide us the, equipment or the glyphs, so to speak, that will allow us to improve the overall stats of our units. The cool thing about the way how Ubisoft has their dungeon set up is that no matter which dungeon you clear, which stage you clear, you're always going to have a glyph drop. So again, that's going to reduce the amount of RNG that will come into play when you're grinding day in and day out. And obviously, as you progress through it, the higher you go, the better chance of a high quality glyph you will have. The Tower Trials is probably going to be their hardest PvE content to date. Again, this is very, very similar to other RPGs out there. You have 100 floors based off of 2 different stages. This one has advanced and this one has a night, so 200 floors total, but it's broken down into 100 floors. And as you clear them out, you're going to be able to obtain various rewards once you get to those boss stages. And this one of the cool things that they have implemented in this one is certain stages provide these Primal Fragments. Now, you guys saw this a little bit earlier when we were doing the summons. The Primal Fragments are going to be used to collect ourselves some new monsters. So we'll go ahead and jump into that right now. If we go to the bottom right here, take a look at the shop. We'll see some of the creatures that we can obtain through these primal fragments here. So as you can see, I've already been collecting a couple of them, and take note that they're not all basic 2-star units. There's an opportunity to collect yourself some 3-star creatures as well as some natural 4-star creatures. So you can definitely see over time, no matter what, as you collect these ones, you're going to have that opportunity to collect yourself a super rare unit. So again, I'm really, really excited that they provided that for you, because as unlucky as we can get sometimes with the legendary summons, we're still going to have the chance of getting a specific unit out of this shop. Okay, since we're in the shop, we'll go ahead and just kind of go down the list. The reputation, this is what we use to this is what we collect through our arena, and we'll go ahead and get their rewards through here. Out of all the ones that are available, I think the most important one is going to be the magical book. This is something you're going to be able to obtain every 3 days, so make sure that you're keeping an eye out on that. As far as the resources go, this is going to be a window that essentially will pop up as you're doing regular gameplay. But if you are a little bit low and you want to give yourself a refill, you can come to the shop and refill your energy, arena energy, or your instant tickets by using the seals that you have collected. Okay. Now, again, just a quick note: if you are a free-to-play player, if you're new to the game, you're going to get a lot of different rewards throughout the game, a lot of different resources, and so just keep that in mind. Make sure that you're managing them effectively so that you can not have to spend so much early on refilling your energy. Okay. Obviously, you got the packs that are available if you want to go ahead and purchase some packs, and then some special some packs as well if you want to use your seals in order to get yourself a couple of extra summons here. As far as if you didn't see on the summoning altar, it takes 130 seals to summon, but it takes 950 to go ahead and summon a pack of 9. Obviously, I would definitely wait until you get, if you're using seals to summon, wait until you get a pack of 9. It's going to be a lot. It's going to give you a lot more value, so you don't waste seals early on, despite the fact that we're really eager to summon. Okay. So I think that is pretty much it, guys. We got a couple of extra things, on the left side. We have our daily rewards, the rewards that we're going to be able to obtain throughout the month. We have our inbox collecting various energies, different rewards that we purchased through special packs and whatnot. Those are going to all show up in here so that you can use those at your will. And then we have the lottery that we're going to be able to play on a daily basis so that we can get ourselves some free rewards here. But I think that's pretty much it as far as just kind of the breakdown of the UI and the monsters. Again, guys, I just want to say thank you all so much for your support. When it comes to new games and trying different things out, I know that some people are like, oh my goodness, another turn-based RPGs, here we go. But like I said before, I had the opportunity to test this out, and despite my skepticism early on, starting fresh over with a turn-based RPG, they've brought in a lot of different features in this game that has definitely made things more refreshing for me. It's made this game very, very enjoyable. And as you guys might have guessed, I really enjoyed the theory crafting aspects of various games. So being able to jump in a new game and test some things out is really, really exciting to me. So if you are looking to test out this game, you like what you saw, definitely check the links in the description down below. I'm going to provide some links for you to go ahead and download this game for iOS or Android. In addition to what I said early on, I'm going to provide a couple of more links for some of you go-getters out there that have already passed the beginner stages and want to look for a little bit more detail on specific things in the game. But again, don't worry, like I said it before, I'm going to go ahead and provide you some videos down the road to talk about a variety of things that I've learned along the way, as I was a free-to-play player for the first month or first 3 weeks of playing this game. And so there's a lot of things that I learned and a lot of mistakes that I have. And as you guys already know, I'm all about learning from my mistakes in order to improve your gameplay experience. All right, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in for our first video of Might and Magic Elemental Guardians. It's your boy Childish, your ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you all in the next video. I'm out.